Hi everybody, it's Ajanette and I am your instructor for your Human Development Psych 103 course. It is an online course and it is fully online, so Blackboard is in fact our classroom, and I am here to go over your syllabus with you and to cover the course and hopefully address any questions that you have about the course. So your syllabus is located on Blackboard along the left-hand side of the course menu under the syllabus link. You'll also find access to this video there. And so when you open up your syllabus, it is in a Word document, and you'll see the banners very consistent with what it looks like when you go into Blackboard. I want that branding so you know you're in our course when you're visiting us. And I think that's particularly important when you're in an online course as well. We want you to feel comfortable and at home when you're in the course. That being said, here's a little bit about me and my teaching philosophy. I want you to know that I come from the same seats that you're sitting in terms of being a community college student myself. I do have an introductory video on Blackboard. I created that back in the summertime, but it still applies today. It's still my background and kind of how I got my degrees in education. And I took the long road and the hard road because that's kind of my nature. I'm a little hard-headed, and I often have to make my own mistakes to kind of learn my way. But I found my way, and I'm right where I want to be, and my education is the one thing I've never regretted. And trust me, I have a lot of regrets, especially to some, regretting some marriages and anyway, I haven't made the best relationship choices, but I definitely made a great choice when it came to getting my education and my career in teaching now. And so I'm here for you. I really have an open door policy. Please know that, and feel free to reach out to me. If my office hours don't work for you, you let me know, and I'm happy to come in on an alternate day. I am on campus on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes Fridays based on different meeting schedules, but I am happy to come out just for you or to do, Skype or some other way of communicating with you, but my door's open. This is a great class. It's one of my absolute favorite classes. We really look at how we change over our lifetime, from womb to tomb, from conception to death. And we look at how we change physically, cognitively, socially, and emotionally. There's not one thing in this class that doesn't apply to us as human beings. And even if you're not a parent, you might have nieces, nephews, cousins, or you went through these stages yourself growing up. I think this course is so relevant and so important to understanding how people change over time and recognizing, gosh, maybe I need to choose my battles when I'm talking to a teenager or a 4-year-old or an 8-year-old, because they have different perspectives on the world and different ways of understanding information cognitively. And those include some limited ways of thinking, or maybe just different ways of thinking. And so we might engage them a little differently based on the knowledge that we acquire in this course. We're going to be using Jeffrey Arnett's Human Development, A Cultural Approach, and he's the textbook with the frog on the front of it. There is a newer edition, but I'm perfectly fine with you using the older edition because it's a more affordable option. But I love the one thing about this book that I really love is the cultural component. He really talks about different cultures, and sometimes we tend to be ethnocentric here in America and not recognize that the rest of the world is not like us. But really and truly, 80% of the world's population is very different from us. And so although we are one of the strongest world-leading countries, we really need to be sensitive and mindful that the great majority of the world's population has different views, perspectives, lifestyles, customs, traditions, and resources. And so having some cultural sensitivity, trying to understand where people come from based on their sociocultural factors is a really important part of understanding human development. So most people, when they're looking at the syllabus, this is all they focus on right here. What is my grade going to be based on? How much work do I have to do? And I'm going to tell you right now that online classes are a lot of work, and you have to be a self-starter. You have to make sure you're following through and that you're staying in the class on a regular basis and continuing to be engaged. And that takes some challenges and some determination. So I want you to know what's ahead of you, and then you make a decision for yourself. I typically am really good about encouraging you along. I don't like to drop people. I will if I have to, but I want to give you every opportunity to succeed before I come to that point. So what I try to do is build a sense of community early on. We're going to do some introductory activities where you get to know the course and get to know each other. I want you interacting with the content in terms of like, how do I submit assignments, things of that nature. Every single chapter has what I call a text assignment. It's a document I've created that asks you questions about each chapter so that you know when you come away from your reading, this is the stuff you should know. And it helps you guide your reading. It helps you ensure that you're engaging in elaborative rehearsal as you're pulling out that reading. And then you have a learning activity. Learning activities are activities where you're diving deeper on a concept or theory related to that chapter. There's one per chapter, 10 points each. Text assignments also one per chapter, 5 points each. And with the learning activities, it's critical thinking. Make sure you add depth and breadth to your blog entry. You're really here to demonstrate what you know. Always write them from the perspective of me knowing nothing about the content, because it's your opportunity to shine and show me what you know. Then there's an observation interview. Much of the knowledge that we gain about human development comes from observations or qualitative research. And so we do naturalistic observations. In this class, you're only going to do one. You can choose 3 different periods that you want to do them in, but you only choose one. So you can go observe a preschool classroom. So we do childhood, adolescent, and late adulthood. You can go do a preschool or an elementary school classroom. So you're going to go observe the children, take detailed notes, and then come back and write an analysis, write a paper. Tell me your observations and your conclusions about the development of the individuals you observed. How are they progressing cognitively, physically, socially, and emotionally? Integrate theories, key terms, concepts. And it's a rich understanding and application of what we're learning to how it pertains to your assessment and perspective of others around you. Great opportunity to apply your new knowledge. And so you're going to do one. It'll be worth 25 points. If you choose to do childhood, you won't do adolescent or late adulthood. Or if you choose to do adolescent, you won't do childhood or late adulthood, or vice versa. So an observation in childhood. You'll do an interview in adolescence. So you'll have to read through those chapters, define questions for yourselves to ask the individual. I don't define those for you because I don't know the nature of your relationship. And we're talking about puberty and sexual behavior and drugs and alcohol and all these things that come up in the adolescent chapter. And you really, the nature of your relationship has to dictate the questions that you ask. So I'll let you formulate those questions. Just make sure they cover each of the domains. Questions about their physical development, cognitive, social, and emotional. Use the chapters as an outline, both for the questions as well as the analysis and the paper you have to submit. And then in late adulthood, you can do an observation at a senior citizen center, or you can long-term care center, or you can do an interview. It's completely up to you. Then we are going to do a sex ed project. This is a group project, believe it or not. A lot of people are like, what? You do a group project online? Absolutely. Because I still want to make sure that we're meeting institutional learning objectives. We want to build teamwork, communication. We want to help you learn how to collaborate. We want to teach you how to make sure that you're building quality work that demonstrates critical thinking and aesthetic awareness and appreciation. And that comes from doing group projects. So I welcome group projects, and it's fun. It's a sex ed project. You'll have plenty of time. I'm giving you 2 whole weeks where you're going to be able to work together as a team without doing other coursework. So you really get to focus your energy. You guys can delegate out the different topics that you have to do. You can choose a team, or I'll assign you to a team. It doesn't matter. It's really up to you. For those of you that might know somebody in the course, or you might have liked someone's blog entries, you're welcome to choose a teammate, reach out to them through Blackboard email or through the question forum, and we'll get you connected, or email me and I'll try to assign you to the same groups. And then finally, you're going to do exams. Your exams also will be in Blackboard. The course orientation will show you how to submit these things and interface with Blackboard directly. Exams can be multiple choice. They might have an essay component, but they all will be online submissions. And then finally, you will have a comprehensive final at the end of the semester. It'll be focused primarily on theories. But it's really important that you're understanding the theories. I'll give you a study guide, and I again do administer that exam through Blackboard. All your grades are posted in the gradebook. Make sure you use the My Grades link on Blackboard to kind of see if I missed anything. Sometimes I might. Just shoot me an email and I'm happy to get that corrected. Also, you know, it helps you kind of track where you are. And I have a grade tracker in Blackboard as well under Student Resources. So you can plug in your scores that you got for each of the assignments, and then you can kind of assess where you are. That's really great to do midway through the semester. I do teach the class and learning modules, so I group them together based on developmental periods or a time period from your development or lifetime. The first module is only going to cover the introductory chapter, which is chapter 1, and then it's going to go through some of the introductory activities. Module 2 is going to cover prenatal development and neonatal, and you'll have an exam at the end of that module. So exam 1 will cover just chapter 1. Thereafter, from exam 2 moving forward, it's going to cover 2 chapters because we're covering 2 chapters per module thereafter. Your longest module, usually we spend 1 week per chapter in a full-term online class. So I do have extra time built into module 5 because that's when we're doing adolescence and emerging adulthood. That's when your sex ed projects are due. So I want to make sure I'm giving you extra time to meet up as a team and to create those sex ed projects. So the first week you'll focus on the first chapter, second week you'll focus on the second chapter, and the last 2 weeks of this module will really be your sex ed project. And then again, we go back to the normal routine with the exception of late adulthood, because for those of you that choose to do your observation in late adulthood, you'll have a little bit of extra time to get that in. Also, if you're missing work and you need to go back in and make up some late assignments or missing assignments, that's a nice week prior to finals to do that. So, and you know, my syllabus says no late work, no late work, but I tend to be flexible. So, you know, it never hurts to ask. Keep that in mind with every class you take, not just me, but everybody. Never hurts to ask, right? All we can do is say no. And in reality, with me, just submit the assignment and I'm pretty much going to apply the points. And for me, I kind of believe in better late than never. There's value in doing the assignments. I want you to learn that content, so I'd rather take it late. I'd also rather make sure that you have your text assignments done before exams, because text assignments are essentially your study guides for your exams. So make sure you do those. I'm just basically giving you credit for your reading and taking some good knowledge away from that reading. So I do go through some policies and procedures here a little bit. Your book is really an important tool for you, especially considering that this is an online class. You do have me quote unquote lecturing because I do lecture videos and every single chapter has one, but make sure you're not just relying on the videos. Make sure you're reading the book as well. And again, use that reading time to do your text assignments. Your text assignments are Word documents, and you'll see that in the course orientation, but they really are guides to your reading, so use those to your advantage. Learning activities, as I already mentioned, are the critical thinking components of the course. I want you to dive in deeper and apply the concepts in a meaningful way. Empirical article critiques, I let you do as extra credit. You can use it to replace an observation, but you go pull a research study and then critique that study, and I have information posted on Blackboard to help you do that successfully. So I'm going to stop here, and then I'm going to come back and do a part 2 to wrap up your syllabus orientation, or excuse me, your syllabus review, and then we'll talk more in your course orientation. So I'll see you in a bit.